What's up, Knicks Nation? Tonight is a very, very serious show. We're gonna go through all the trends, but more importantly, we will answer the question: is this Knick team as good as we thought they were? We're gonna go through all the numbers. What does the ranking say? Did we slip? How about point differential? How about offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency? What about the players? What were their grades? Did they improve? Did they fall off? We're going to talk about that and more on this Knicks in 10 show. Hello, Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Karan Pierre, the objective fan, and I'm straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest, and you know the vibes. Tell a friend that we are live. Let's go, people. Welcome to the show. I'm happy. This is my favorite show. I love stats. They call me Stat Master Miyagi. I am him. He is I. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Everybody smash that like button. And of course, if you are a subscriber, consider joining the channel. This is a members only live chat show. I want to big time salute all the members in the building. I will be looking into the chat to see what my members are talking about. So members, if you have a question, if you have something you want to share, please do. I see you, Maxine, the best executive producer in the world. My man Mellow Mike in the building. Big time salute to you. Before I continue, we working on the NBA Saturdays. We coming at you tomorrow morning, so be on the lookout for that. I'm aiming for a 10 o'clock start, early before football, before basketball, all the other sports. Something in the morning so we can get into a really early show. So be on the lookout for that. Of course, we got the game tomorrow against the Phoenix Suns. We got to see what happens with Devin Booker. And hopefully Jalen Brunson can come back. We'll see what happens with that. I don't know. And we'll be doing a post-game call-up show tomorrow night. And then from there, I'll let you guys know what else we got to come. Of course, if you are in the chat or if you are a subscriber and you can't chat, you could always hit the Cash App or the donation on Linktree, and I will also read your message. So that'll be a way you guys could participate tonight if there's something that you have a question on. I try to keep this show as simple as possible because it's a lot of information. But, if you guys do have questions or you want to say something, I'm just giving you an option, an alternative for how you could join the show. So without further ado, I'm going to get into the PowerPoint, man. Bam. So this is the Knicks in 10 show. Now, a caveat about this show. We will only be discussing games 31 through 40, okay? I'm going to tell you exactly the games we're covering. So basically, the Warriors game that happened last night, take that out your mind. It has nothing to do with this discussion. We're talking about everything before the Warriors game. We're talking about from Sacramento going all the way back to Atlanta, okay? Those are the games we're talking about. So all the stats I'm telling you is for then. So you might say, wait a minute, that's not right. We just lost to Golden State. I'm not counting that game. I'm doing up to game 40. Okay? Now, let me get to the next slide. 1 second. I don't even need this. All right, bam. I'm just staying on PowerPoint. No research mode tonight, just straight PowerPoint. All right? So from there, let's get the show started. So the Knicks in 10 show is a show that is dedicated to documenting the Knicks. We're going to go over, like I said, games 31 through 40. It's from the 10-game snapshot to important team standing stats, team records, trends, all of that, etc. We'll even look into last year. I got last year right here. We might even go into the year before last year, which is right here. So be on the lookout for that. and we're gonna really get down into the nitty gritty. So this is basically what this show is about. Sorry if my camera is blocking some of the words, but it's okay. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this slide. I'm gonna keep it moving. Bam. All right. So what we're looking at right here is the 10-game snapshot. But this is from a particular period in time. This is the last 10 games prior to this point. So this was games 21 through 30. Just to give a brief refresher. By the way, this is last year's stats. But so just to give a brief refresher, last year, I'm sorry, games 21 through 30. This was our best stretch of the season. If we were measuring the season 10 games at a time, that last 10-game stretch by far was the best stretch of the season. We won 8 games. We had 5 good wins against 500 and above teams, right? We also won the NBA Cup championship. So we went from one of the best stretches of the season to one of the worst stretches of the season. So this is games 31 through 40. We only won 4 games. We lost 6, okay? Now, this is the worst stretch that I've seen since last year, and that was game 61 through 70. We went 4-6. We had 2 bad losses. At the time, the Spurs weren't a good team. Wemby wasn't there, and we also lost to the Charlotte Hornets. We did have a good win, but it was against the Sacramento Kings team that was on the decline. And this was the period of time where Brunson wasn't there. Brunson missed a lot of time during this stretch. So once again, I don't like to make excuses. You guys know that about me. But facts are the facts. Brunson wasn't there, and the offense plummeted, right? Defense got a lot better, but the offense plummeted. So this year, you see the 2 bad losses on the screen. One to Atlanta, sub-500 team, and one to Sacramento. The Sacramento Kings at the time were 10-31 when they beat us. That is terrible. That is awful. That is despicable. We have no good wins. We have no wins against teams above 500. All 6 of our losses during this period come from above 500 teams. We're 0-6. Can anyone see that? And just to give you, just because I like you guys a lot, you guys are my people, I'm going to give you some bonus stats too throughout the night from the 82 Nights Club. I'll show you how you could get in there in a second, but I also got a record of what our record is against just top 10 teams. So the top 10 teams in the league, I'm going to give you the record for that. And this team clearly has disappointed, pretty much wet the bed, right, against these teams. And hold on, let me get that stat for you. Our record against top 10 teams. Not seeing it. Got too many stats. I keep track of over 100 stats. So pardon me. I'm gonna find it. I believe it's 2 and 5, but I just want to stat check that. Yeah, so anytime we go up against teams that have the top 10 win percentage, we are 2 and 5. So not getting it done against the premier teams. All right. So based off this slide here, and I got like 16 more to go. No, 12 more to go. I'm gonna skip some, but this kind of answers the question for you. We're not producing. And if you want to look at where we were last year at this time, last year during this same 31 to 40 game stretch, we were 6 and 4. Only 1 bad loss. That was to a Chicago Bulls team who scored 139 points. How many of you guys remember that game last year against the Chicago Bulls? A very stressful game. And I have here in my notes, tired legs. It's a poor excuse. We lost. But we did get a good win against Orlando and another good win against Milwaukee at the time, who both were 500 and above. So that's if you want to know last year. I also will be referencing last year as well as I go through this. Let me hit the next slide. All right. Pow. So these are the standings. Hopefully my camera view is not messing with y'all too much. Let me see if I can make it a little smaller. Okay, cool. So all that says is game 31 through 40. Don't worry about that, all right? So this is games 31 through 40. Well, up to 40 games. This is the standings. I make sure I take a snapshot at that moment in time so we can get the most accurate depiction of where we rank. To all the people who watch this show, you guys know where I'm going to go. Okay? You guys know where I'm going to go, and I'm not going to hold no anticipation. So we're 25 and 10. I mean, I'm sorry, 25 and 15. That's good enough right now for second in the East. I know we dropped. I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about up to 40 games. Okay? So we're 4 games back of Detroit. Last time around, this time, in the previous 10-game set, we were 2.5 games back. So we fell back further from Detroit. Okay? But the most important stat after wins and losses, differential. Differential. Big time salute to my channel members in the chat. What do I always say about differential? It separates the what from the what? It separates the boys from the men. Okay? This is like an R&B group. We're going to separate the boys from the men. You feel me? Boys to men. Yeah. We the opposite. We're going from men to boys. Last time we checked around this time, our differential was 6.9. This is a minus 2.7 drop. A minus 2.7 drop. That is catastrophic. Okay? In the differential world. The team that has been the most consistent in terms of differential in the East, I give you a hint, is not Detroit. It's that other team that has been I'm gaining on you. I'm gaining on you. Boston Celtics. 6.5 differential. Last time we checked and we looked at Boston, I'm going to give you that number. Okay? Boston Celtics are a dangerous team. I know they've been losing some games. Last time we looked at Boston differential, a 6.4. Okay? If you want me to go back to games 11 through 20, Boston was a 4.1. Still decent differential, and they built upon it, and now they're holding on to a 6-point differential. Okay? That's major. But I have something to say that I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear, but I'm the objective fan. I always give real talk. Right now, during this stretch, the Detroit Pistons are the undisputed best team in the East. I would say the Celtics are the second best team in the East. I would put us third based off of just that number right there. We have slipped. We slipped and we fell, and we barely can get up. All right? We're in a boxing match right now with the NBA schedule, and we just got knocked down a whole bunch of times. During this same home stretch, right, we got 2 more home losses. Before this stretch, we only had 2 on the year. We're now 16-4 at home. And then we also lost 4 road games during this stretch as well. The road struggles continue, but I'm going to get more into the road stuff a little bit later. Opponent points per game is 114.9. That puts us at, we still I think top 5. Because you got Brooklyn, you got Detroit, Boston, Toronto. Yeah, so we top 5. We dropped almost 2 points. Last time we were 113.3. So teams are scoring more against us. And then we also down a point. We went from 120 to 119. This team we had a bad stretch. Now, one thing I'm going to say. Just because we're not the best team in the East right now, that's cool. It's still early. It's still January. I don't care about being the best team in the East in January. I care about that in April, May, and June. So we got time to right the ship and turn it around. But, it's not looking too good right now. And that's just the reality check. When you watch this show, the last 10 games, I told you, I kept it real with you. I said, yo, we are the most dominant team in the East because we had the best differential. Boy, has that changed. But we'll see. Next 10 games, our schedule lightens up a little bit. We got after Phoenix. Once again, I'm not sure if Devin Booker's going to play in that game because he missed the last game or he was questionable. I got to still watch that game. I didn't watch that last game. They lost to Detroit. But Dallas, Brooklyn, Philadelphia, we owe them. We're good in revenge games. Sacramento, we definitely owe them in the Garden. We better not lose to Sacramento in the Garden. Toronto, they're beatable. Portland, we could get them again, this time in the Garden. Los Angeles, I think that's the Lakers. The Lakers are struggling. They're coming to the Garden. And Washington. So we could rebound. Even though we lost to Golden State in that stretch, we could rebound. So the future doesn't have to be negative. I don't want to seem like oh man, the season over. I don't do stuff like that. I'm giving you the real for what it is right now. But you know what? Before I get to this slide, let me, let's take a little commercial break and then I'm gonna get into the chat. All right.
Real question. Do you actually know basketball or do you just watch it? Because most fans watch games and talk, but they're not breaking anything down. No tracking, no documentation, no real analysis, just reactions and baseless opinions. 82 Nights changes that though. Over 200 pages to analyze what you are watching, track rotations, break down patterns, highlight players, take actual notes. That's how you go from someone who watches to someone who knows. That's how your basketball IQ levels up. Link in chat, hardcover or soft, stop guessing, start documenting today.
Salute to you, Maxine. Thank you for a brilliant commercial. Definitely go check out the 82 Nights, the official basketball intelligence system. You can do so from the Linktree. How I get down on this channel is Linktree. Everything Linktree. So go to Linktree/The Objective Fan and check out everything we got, right? So in the meantime, as I set this up the right way, kind of a tight camera shot, let me look into the chat. I just want to read a couple of messages. Mello says, because of the stats, we are third. Okay. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like it's based on the numbers. Like, it's not based on my opinion. It's not based on how I feel about the Knicks. It's not based on me being a delusional fan. It's not based on because we lost to the Golden State Warriors or even just because we lost to the Sacramento Kings. I judge the series in 10-game increments. That's how I keep track of the Knicks. That's how I know what's going on. I don't panic over one game. I look at 10 games. I track differential. I track other rankings. I keep track of over 100 stats myself that I keep up to date, that you got to come through. To get half of them, you got to come to me. But let me see what else is going on in the chat. HRM said they are tired, not surprised that this happened during another grueling road trip. Good point. Road trip right in the midst of the, this 10-game stretch, 100%. And Maxine says, Stat Master Miyagi. Yup, that's me. That is me. So let me get back to the PowerPoint. Bam. Okay. Once again, hopefully my camera doesn't block out too much. Right now, there's nothing in the way, so we good. Now I want to spend some time here. All right. These are the rankings and the key stats. Okay. Now, when we look at these rankings and key stats, or everything in yellow, and I gotta, you know what? I'll make a note on the slide so people can see. Anything in yellow is good. Anything that in blue is bad. Okay. And anything with a red circle is something that may have slid, like we dropped. It still may be good, but we dropped. And anything with a green circle is we improved. Okay. So just so you can understand what the colors on this chart means. Okay. Now, field goal attempt are good. We get up 91 attempts a game. That's pretty solid. That means we win in the possession battle. We're getting up a lot of shots. In that one game against Sacramento, I think it was. We had 100 field goal attempts. 100 field goal attempts. Okay? So we getting them up there. Now field goal percentage could be a little bit better, but I take it. It's middle of the pack. We take a lot of shots. So if we could get a little closer to top 10, I would be all right. So I don't really care about that. 3-point shot is still elite. We're still one of the best teams in the league at shooting threes. We are elite. During this 10-game stretch, we shot the ball over 37.5% from the three-point land. Okay? We shot over 37.5% 7 times out of the 10 games. And we improved to that third spot, by the way, from the last time we checked. Now, I get it. Like, we doing good with 3-point shots, 40 a game. That's what Mike Brown wanted. But 2-point shots, I need a little bit more. I need a little bit more 2-point shots from this team, right? We got 8 players that average over 50%, well over 50%. And I think we got at least 2 or 3 over 60 or near 60. We should be shooting way more 2-point shots. I put that on Mikal Bridges. I put that on Mitchell Robinson. I put that on anybody who I feel is not taking enough shots. Mitchell Robinson shoots like 70% or something crazy like that from 2-point land. We need to figure out how to get him something closer to the basket. I understand he has no moves, but we got to figure it out. Right? They say we got a top 4 offense, which that seems like where we're going to rest at, number 4. I need to see some more diversity in our attack. Okay? As far as rebounding, we still at the top, right? Defensive rebound, we improved a couple of notches. Even though, defensive rebound is probably our weakest link right now. But we're monsters on the offensive glass, 13.5 a game, right? We're up 24.6% from last year. That's a huge jump in offensive rebounds. And, you could give a big salute to Mitchell Robinson. I put a lot of that on Mitchell Robinson. He's the undisputed best offensive rebounder in basketball. That's not my opinion. That's not your opinion. That is stats. And that is facts. The only problem with Mitch is he doesn't play enough. But that's another topic. Still give the brother his credit. He dominates the glass. And it impacts the team. Okay? Now, even though we're still a good rebounding team, I'm a little concerned because during this 10-game stretch, we were out-rebounded 5 times. And this only happened 7 times in the first 30 games. So I'm hoping this rebound trend doesn't continue like this where we're getting outboarded. Because where it stands right now, and I'm going to talk about this stat a little bit later. I'll talk about it later. I want to keep it moving. I'm going to get more into the rebound stats later when I get to the team trends. But, that is a concern. But Josh Hart, remember, Josh Hart only played 2 games during this stretch. He helps impact rebounding as well. Towns, Mitch, Hart, 3 of the best rebounders in basketball. And when we're missing 1 or 2 of them, it definitely hurts our cause. Let's see. Free throws is another thing too. You see, I got free throws in blue, the free throw attempts and the free throws made. Man, we got too many good scorers on this team to only get to the line 23 times. Like, we only have 2 players that average 3 free throws or more, and that's Mitch and Towns. We got to get to the line, man. And I'll give you a bonus stat. Anytime we get to the line and we attempt more than 21.7 free throws, we're only 13-8. But I take that because it's still 5 games above 500. The reason why our record isn't better in that regard is because we don't shoot enough free throws, right? And we've become accustomed to being able to win Because on the flip side, we're 12-8 when we don't get that many free throws. So it's pretty much the same. Free throws are zero impact. But what I'm going to add to this, I'm going to probably add another tier. What happens when we get 25 free throws? And then I'll have that for you guys on the next Knicks and 10 show. Let me add that. Let me write that down, man. See, I'm always keeping track of new stats because maybe 21 is not enough. Maybe we need to get to 25. That's the target. So I'm going to get that for you next time. 25 free throws record. All right. Got that note down. Bam. I'm trying to see if there's anything from this slide that I care about. There's a lot here. I don't need to go through everything. I'm just going through some of the things that I find that stand out. Another thing too, 3-point defense. 3-point defense is terrible, y'all. It's the worst thing about this team defensively. Okay, it's the worst thing about this team defensively. Let me explain. If you look at opponent field goals, I'm going to put the mouse there so you guys can see. You see this? The opponent. All right, so our stats is at the top. On the bottom is the opponent. Okay. Look at where we rank in field goals for the opponent. This is incredible. We're getting 4 more attempts per game than our opponent. We're also making 2 more shots than our opponent. We're getting more shots than our opponent, but we're also holding them to fewer shots. We're 7th in opponent field goals attempts, 7th in opponent field goals. That's why we're not a bad defense. The defense is not bad. I'm keeping it real. Paint defense, we're top 4 in paint defense. This team is actually good inside. And I'm going to give the credit to Mitchell Robinson because last year we didn't have Mitchell Robinson for most of the season. This year, he's been here for most of the season, and he's been impacting the defense. Towns has also stepped, contrary to popular belief, but Towns has stepped up his interior defense this year compared to last year. So a combination of Mitch, combination of Towns, stepping up his defense. So it appears that defensively, we get worse the further a team shoots. Good in 2-point land, great in the paint. Great in the paint, great in 2-point land, terrible 3 points. Anytime the opponent, we're 25th in opponent 3-point percentage. The opponent is shooting 37.2% from 3. That pretty much they're on par with us. We shoot 0.6% better, but we in a shootout every game. Even though it says here, it's a slight plus, but from last year, it's still bad. It's still bad. It's bad. Tibbs couldn't figure out the 3-point defense. Mike Brown can't figure out the 3-point defense with this team. I don't know. But even when you look at the 2-point percentage in the 2-point attempt, look at the 2-point defense. Elite. See what I'm saying? 2-point defense, we're 4th in 2-pointers made, 26.2. 3rd in 2-pointers attempted. Okay. We're getting 3 more 2-point shots than the opponent. And 9th in percentage. It's like they're buying into everything on the inside, but on the outside, they're not. Let me go back to 3-point defense, right? During this 10-game stretch, out of 7 games, the opponent shot more than 36.2%. We're getting cooked. We're getting cooked. And during those 7 games when the opponent had more than 36.2%, we're 2-5. 2-5, ladies and gentlemen. The defense is bad from 3. It's good everywhere else. They do a good job defending the paint. Good job defending 2-point shots. Good job overall on field goals. And opponent rebounds is great. And my last thing I'll touch on this is, no, two things. Turnovers. Turnovers are bad. Okay. We still can't force turnovers. Right? Forcing turnovers could be a huge benefit to us. Let me tell you something. Anytime we force the opponent to get more than 13.7 turnovers, which is the league average, by the way, from last year, we are 16-7. We got to continue forcing turnovers, man. And we got to do it at a higher rate. 14 is not bad because it's slightly above the league average from last year, but it's still not good enough. We need to get it up 1 point. Like during this next stretch of 10 games, my goal would be to get it up at least 1 point or a half a point. They do that, they're showing a really great effort on the defensive end. But that's the defense. And then, of course, we dropped from 14 to 17 since we last looked in rating. We need to get the rating closer to 10. I'm not saying it has to be top 10, but it needs to get closer to 10. Like you're going to have to do a better job defensively. And part of this is the defensive rebounds. If we were better at defensive rebounding, automatically just getting more defensive rebounds will boost us in our defensive rating. Because rebounding is an important part of offense and defense. If you guys didn't know that. Okay? Let me look into the chat briefly, and I'm going to get back into the slides, see if you guys have any questions. Definitely, y'all, if you are, a subscriber and you're not a member, definitely join the channel. Not just so you could talk on this show, but this, the perks of the channel comes with a lot. Depending on which package you get access to all 100 stats. You get access to the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. You get access to a whole bunch when you join the channel. But if for whatever reason you're not a member of the channel and you still want to participate in the chat, all you could do, you can send super chat to the link tree, or you can send it to the Objective Fan. And I will read your question. I will read your chat. To all the channel members, continue to put your questions or whatever you got, and I will check it out as well. So that way I'm making sure, you guys get answers quick, because it's a lot of information, and I'm going to move faster after this slide, right? Because that slide had the most information. But, it's interesting when we keep track of trends with this team, right? It's interesting when we keep track of trends with this team because, when you're watching the game, sometimes the numbers don't corroborate what you're seeing. And that's why it's good to have a great balance of understanding, what the numbers is and what's going on behind the scenes, and using stats with context. That's another big thing about me. I'm not just throwing a whole bunch of stats at you, giving you content. And plus, I'm not a super advanced stat dude. I like practical, realistic stats that show trends, that show patterns, like the 3-point defense, like the points in the paint. Like there's certain stats when you look at it, analyze it, it explains what's happening on the floor. And then when you watch the games, it makes it even better. You can't just be a box score warrior. You have to watch the games. All right, let me jump back in the PowerPoint. Let's get to the next slide. All right, so this is when we get to the fun stuff. Brunson and Towns. Towns and Brunson. Let's make sure I keep my notes over here. Now, I know the first thing that bounces off the screen. Let me move me over here somewhere. I know the first thing that glances on the screen when you look at this is minus 4.8. Do understand that our differential. Ooh, let me see if I get that for you. I'm gonna get that for you really quickly. Hold on. You got to understand that our differential as a team is bad. Stats with context. So don't just look at the minus without acknowledging that the team plus minus is bad. All right. Let me see if I can get that number for you really quickly. Basketball Reference don't got it. All right, I got to go to NBA.com. But other than that, when the both of them scored 20 plus points, they're still 2-5. Okay. Last time we looked at, 12-5. Last time we looked at this, they were 9-3. Okay, so the two-man game between Brunson and Towns, they need to exploit it more. And they're not doing enough exploiting, in my opinion. And even though, yes, they did it for 5 games where they were able to score 20 plus together, they should have did it for all 10 games. But do we have a compatibility issue here? Right? It's hard to not think that there is a compatibility issue when we played 40 games. They only scored 20 plus together 17 times. Now, Brunson missed 3 games. Towns missed 2. Maybe 2 or 3 as well. Towns, they both didn't miss that many games. So even if I take away 5 games, in 35 games, they only scored 20 plus together 17 times. That is not enough. That is not enough to get it done. Now, I'm not sure if this is completely... Oh, no, I got it. Hold on. Let me make sure it's for the right stretch. No, that's not the right stretch. Hold on. Let me make sure this is for the right stretch before I give it. I don't like to give out incorrect numbers on purpose. If I do it by accident, then that's, nothing you can do with accident. I'm just making sure I got the right date, man. Because I saw minus 3 point some, but I don't think that. Okay, yeah, because it was. I remember. Okay, so the team as a whole during this stretch was a minus 4.3. So the team as a whole was bad. They were minus 0.5, worse than the team plus minus. So just to put it in context, not to say that it makes it better, right? Because it's still losing. It's not good, but prior to this, they were a 4. They were a 4. So we seen a minus 8.8 drop during this stretch. But last time, so if they go on another winning streak, it'll go back up. It's not the end of the world, right? People don't look at stats with context. Like, you also got to understand that plus minus is a team stat, right? It's a team stat. It only becomes stronger when you have more players. Either you're looking at a whole entire 5 plus minus, right? Or 4, right? But the more players you add, the stronger it gets. But you still got to consider what the team is doing. Like, if the team is positive, but you're negative, that gives you more context. But if the team is negative and you're the same negative, that doesn't. It's hard to say that they're hurting the team, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Now, they picked up 2. What is that? 2 losses? 2 more losses? Because last time we looked at the under, they were 4-5. Oh, let me just make sure that's right. I see 3 losses here. So, okay, they picked up 3 losses. On that 11-7, they lost 3 losses, and they won, I think they won 2 games. Okay? So, still when they score under, it has a negative impact on the team. You can see the 11-7 a little closer to 500 than the 12-5. But this team, honestly, has found ways. Like, sometimes you'll see individual stats that looks like, like individual or even just like a combo stat, and it looks bad. That's because the team has done other things to supplement what these two are doing. But you see the value when these two. And also, those 3 wins, right, came out of 4 times when they scored plus 20. So 3 out of the 4 times they scored plus 20 together, they got to win. They were 3-1. Okay? So just for reference, okay? Anything else with this? Nah, I'm gonna keep it moving. Keep it moving. So that's the Brunson and Towns impact. Get to the next slide. So this is a Jalen Brunson slide. His solo impact, what he does individually and how it impacts the team. Now, I'm not going to lie. When we last looked at this, Brunson's stats looked a lot better. All right. He added 5 losses to that 20+ stat because I was like, oh, his scoring is not hurting the team, and it's still not hurting the team because the team, we just went through a bad stretch of games. We can go through another stretch of games where Brunson is just killing it. And to be honest, the last time Jalen Brunson scored under 20, you had to go back like 15 games. Hold on, I'm gonna stat check that. The last time Jalen Brunson scored under 20 was, of course, you could say the Sacramento game, but we know he got hurt. But prior to him, his injury was Boston. This was all the way back on December 2nd. So Brunson has been on the money. So, that 8-2, it looked great. But when you go 4-6, it takes away, right? Stats with context. And we got a loss during this stretch when Brunson got under 20 points. Now we're 3-2 when he gets under 20 points. Only 5 times throughout the year, Brunson has scored under 20 points. Now, when Brunson's getting 30 or more, hero ball Brunson, my man, Mr. Dribble, 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 okay, he has 30+ points. We are 11-5. When he gets under 30, we're 12-7. So it's, okay, you could say the edge is when he gets more than 30, but it's still no difference. How many of you guys see that? How many of you guys understand that? It's no real difference when he gets over 30 versus under 30 in terms of impacting wins and losses. That's what we're looking at here. Not no other advanced stat, okay? Some advanced metric that you never heard of before or you don't really understand how it works. Practical numbers, wins and losses. All right, so Brunson still has a positive impact on this team when he scores, right? Now, I could do how many dribbles if you want, but I got something also interesting. Now, I added something to this slide, all right? This is Brunson playmaking by himself. 9+ assists, 5-3, okay? He actually got a win on the +9, on the +9, okay? Before that, he was 4-3, okay? That was during games 21 through 30. Now, when he gets 9 and under assists, even though we got 6 losses, he's still 19-10. Okay? He's still 19-10 when he gets under 9 assists. So then I say, you know what? Maybe that's not fair because Brunson is not Steve Nash. Right? Brunson is not Steve Nash. Brunson, he could just be a point guard that has to get 6 assists. So I said, okay, let's put it to the test. So anytime Brunson gets 6+ assists, we're 12-6. When he gets under 6 assists, we're 19-10. So Brunson's assists does not impact the game. If you want me to look into passing, I could try to do that. To me, that's just tedious. Oh, what happens if Brunson passes the ball 30 times, 40 times? I understand there's a difference between passing and assists. I understand it. But my point why I like assists and why assists for the Knicks are a magic number, I'm not going to share that one. I save that. You got to get the 82 nights. But the assist number is a magic number, especially when they get 30 assists. But when Brunson gets more assists, this team is not necessarily more better. That fact stands. Hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from. I'm not saying that Brunson shouldn't get assists. I'm not saying Brunson shouldn't pass the ball. I'm talking about the impact on wins and losses. I track this over time. And over time, since the beginning, it hasn't been a difference either way. Now, I could be petty and say, well, they win more when he gets less assists. I don't want to go there. Point is, no correlation with Brunson having to pass more in terms of wins. All right. let me get to my man. My favorite player this season is Josh Hart. Right? Not to say that I favor any player over the other, but if I had to pick my favorite Knick this year, Josh Hart. Hustle and the heart. Still impactful, but to be fair, he only played 2 games. So, don't even read into these numbers. I'm just putting it on the screen just to show you I updated it. We'll look at it in the next 10-game stretch, and we'll see if these numbers hold. But I still believe, based on these numbers, he is the best guy to start. He's the pre-trade. Now, if we do a trade and we get somebody that could start, that's different. Right now, Josh Hart is the best guy to start. Okay? Now, double big lineup. Where are my double big lineup people at? If you are double big lineup people, raise your hand in the air and wave it like you just don't care. If you are a double big lineup person, this is the slide that you should want to see. All right? Basically, I'm going to tell you in a nutshell, it's still bad. I do stats fair. It would be worse if I just did when, they don't start versus when they do start together. And don't include when he sits. So this stat is when Mitchell Robinson sits on the bench, not when he misses games. When they start together, they are 5-7. It hasn't worked. It's terrible. The double big lineup supposed to be this answer for rebounds. Why when we go up against Detroit, cooked, barbecue chicken, that Jalen Duren wasn't there. Tobias Harris wasn't there. Double big lineup should have dominated. If not scoring, definitely the glass. When they are apart, meaning Mitchell Robinson sits, they are 11-4. During this stretch of 10 games, games 31 through 40, they started together 5 times. They lost 3 out of the 5 times. They only won twice. But apart, they won 3 times when they were apart and only lost twice. Okay. No, I'm sorry. They won 3 times when they were apart and they only lost twice. Okay. Just to show you the contrast. Also, instead of playing 7 minutes during this stretch, they played 8 minutes during this stretch. So Brown played them more. And that's part of because Hart wasn't there. So he played them 1 minute more. And he don't trust Diawara. He don't trust Yabusele. So he's playing Mitchell Robinson a little bit more. So more sample size, more losses, no wins. And basically during the 6 games that they played together, but I'm meaning not starting, no matter. But the 6 games they were there together, whether they started or not, they were 2-4. And if you want to know what their plus minus was in these 6 games, 0. No plus, no minus. I rest my case. Do not ever come back to me with the double big lineup, please. There's more, but I want to keep it. I want to keep it short and simple. So this is Kolick and Brunson, right? So their record is 3-5. Brunson Kolick lineup. The lineup that we all reveled about. The lineup that we all loved. In the last 8 games, because they only played 8 games together during this stretch, they're 0. 0. Now you could look at that 2 ways. You could say it's 4 points better than the average for the team. Okay, I take that. But realistically, the small ball lineup, I don't feel like it's having the impact that we once thought it had, because last time during this stretch, damn, I don't got it written down. It was way better. But to be fair, we went 8-2, so that's why it's going to look better. But I'm putting this on the screen to say, I know Kolick is going to be out of the lineup, But maybe we shouldn't give up on this duo. Because a 0 during this stretch, I take it. 3 and 5, Now, the Brunson, Kolek, Clarkson lineup is a 0.9. 0.9. Now, Deuce wasn't really in the mix much because he didn't play that many. No, Deuce did play that many games, but there was something with Deuce. I forgot. Something happened with Deuce. Oh, yeah. I didn't get a chance to look at the Deuce McBride lineups. That's what it was. I forgot to go back. My bad. So next time I have some Deuce McBride stats for you. But to prove my point, I have a lineup of Hart, Kolek, and Clarkson. They are a +3. I say that to say, and I know there's only one game, okay. 2 games, okay. But I'm saying that to say the size on the floor, I think will help us out a lot versus playing the smaller lineups. That's why I brought that up. But it's still not bad, though. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. This is me being the objective fan. So, just to give you this stat, where do you want to go with it? You could go with it either way. Okay? I'm just trying to be objective. Before I get into the next couple of slides, I'm gonna take you to another interesting message.
Most basketball fans watch games and talk loud, but they're not really seeing anything. They're reacting. They're repeating what they heard. They're not analyzing. They're not breaking it down. You want to be different? 82 nights. Over 200 pages where you document what you actually see. Break down rotations, track patterns, game to game, highlight the players making moves. When you put it on paper, you start seeing what actual fans miss. Your predictions improve, your insights get sharper, your basketball understanding jumps. You stop sounding like everyone else and you start speaking from knowledge. That's what this channel is about. That's what 82 Nights is about. Link in chat, elevate your game now.
Big time salute to Maxine for the lovely message. Definitely go get yourself the 82 Nights, the official basketball intelligence system. Expand your basketball knowledge. You could do so by going to the link tree. That's in the chat. That's in the description. Linktree/the objective. Okay? Check it out. Go get yours now. I'm looking in the chat. See if any of my members got any questions. Big time salute to J-Tap. By the way, J-Tap was at the Warriors game giving us the inside scoop last night in the Discord server. Another reason why you should join the channel. You just never know. You know, then I see my man Mellow Mike. He's another guy that goes all over. He is our Westchester aficionado. He knows all about the Westchester Knicks. So you got a question about Westchester, you go to Mellow Mike. Let me see what he said. He said the game plan for the 25-26 season was supposed to be passing the ball, getting everyone involved, which is not going on. Getting everyone involved, that part where Jalen is not existent. That is absolutely correct. Josh is the correct choice. Okay. And he said that's something Brandon and Connor, the defensive coach, should be figuring out how to make that lineup work. Oh, you're talking about the double big lineup? Doesn't work. I might even gonna play with you guys. It doesn't work. But definitely get the likes up, y'all. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. You know, we're on the road to 10,000. The next milestone is 2,000. We just crossed the 1,800 and 10 more. No, I think we're at 1,817 right now. So let's get the subscribers up. Let's get the likes up. Definitely, you could still hit that like button if you're not a member. Yeah, whatever questions you got, you can let me know via the link tree or the Cash App, and I'll get to it. All right, 100%, 100%. I'll get to it. A lot of information. I'm trying to pace through it, but I don't want the show to be too long. I know we're getting close to that 54-minute mark. I only got maybe four or five slides left, so we'll power through it. All right. Now, during this next section, this is where I'm gonna get into some more team stuff, trends, and certain stats and 82 Nights Club stuff. We'll talk about 500 and above record. I'm gonna go deep into that record when trailing or leading into quarters. DRMD, which is dominating rebounding matchup, revenge tour, and more. Okay, that's what this section is all about. All right, so let me find a safe place for my cameras. Wow. Okay, so when we look at the competition, the record versus the competition, okay, some interesting stuff here. So you see here, anytime we play against 500 and above teams, we're 9-14. 9-14. Okay. On the flip side, when you break that stat down even further, it tells you a deeper story. Okay. Anytime we play against a 500 and above team on the road, we are I stat checked that. It's 9-13. It currently is 9-14 now because I added the Warriors game by accident. It's 9-13. So forget the Warriors game. So it's 9-13. Still bad. Doesn't make it better. Still bad. But when we go up against these teams on the road exclusively, we are 1-10. Yes, I said it. So the issue isn't just the games against 500 and above teams. It isn't just the games on the road. It is when you combine them both. Because at home, okay, at home against 500 and above teams, we are 7-2. We've been knocking them off. That's why Phoenix, I see you, Phoenix. Yeah, I think we're going to cook Phoenix at home. I do. I don't care about with the last 10 games. These are all road games. But at home, we are a different monster. And I think that will continue to persist throughout this next 10-game stretch. I think we got Philadelphia. No, we don't got Philadelphia at home. We do have Los Angeles at home and Phoenix. And the rest is just sub 500 teams. I'm going to get the sub 500 teams in a second, but I hope you get that what I'm saying. It's not just the road, okay? It's not just the 500 and above teams is when you combine them. That's what's been cooking us this year. Okay, overall 9-13. I know it says 14. It's realistically 13. Okay, overall, if you include Golden State, is 9-14. Anyway, below 500, and I just want to stat check that. Okay, so below 500 teams, right? Overall, we're 16-2 during this stretch. Okay, towards the end of this stretch. Now, at home against 500 and above teams, I just said it. No, I'm sorry. Let me stick to below 500. At home against below 500 teams, we are 8-1. 8-1. Okay? No, check that. 9-1. I forgot to include the Clipper game. 9-1. So really good against below 500 teams at home. That's why we got Dallas, Brooklyn, Sacramento, Portland, all food. Those should be 4 wins. Sub 500 teams. During this last stretch, we lost to 6 500 and above teams. Let that sink in. I'm just stat checking myself. I see the 2 bad losses. So we lost to 4 500 and above teams. We lost to 2 sub 500 teams. Okay. So during this stretch, we lost to 2 sub 500 teams. Okay. And one of them was at home. One of it was on the road. Just to be clear, just so we could see it, just so it makes sense. And that was, of course, like I said earlier, to Atlanta and to Sacramento. All right. And then on the road, we're 7-1 because we just lost to Sacramento. So that's the record. Below 500 teams, we're cooking them. If you want to know what our record was last year, okay? Last year, This is that 82 night stuff right here. Okay, against sub 500 teams, our record was 16-5. 16-5. So 3 more losses last year. We played more sub 500 teams last year up to this point than we did this year. This year we played against more above 500 teams. And last year at this point, we were 10-9 against 500 and above teams. See, a lot of people, you look at Boston, the Cavaliers, and OKC, you say, oh, we were 0-10, but you forget we beat a lot of the other top teams. This year, on the other hand, I mean, we lost to Phoenix. We lost to Detroit, who's a top team. San Antonio, who's a top team. Okay. Philadelphia, who's not a top team. Okay. We lost to Minnesota. Philadelphia again. So, yeah, I mean, we've been losing to the teams that we're supposed to beat. So it's like, it's hard to say you're the best team, or it's hard to say we're as good as we thought he was. How many of you guys said, yo, we're going to win 60 games? A lot of you guys said we were going to win 60 games. If I ask you that question now, do you feel the same way? You're going to say no. This team is not as good as you thought they were. Keep it moving. Now, here's another stat that I find to be one of the most intriguing stats, is record when entering quarters. Very, very telling. Very, very telling. Okay, so I start with third quarters because third quarters have been the most predictable out of any quarter. They're all kind of predictable, but third quarters are the most predictable. Anytime we have a lead after the third quarter heading into the fourth, we are 20-1. You could bank on this third quarter stat all year, except that San Antonio Spurs game where we led every quarter. And then they put up 42 points. Hold on. I'm going to tell you what it was, because I got my 82 nights, by the way, where I document everything. So I could easily just go to the game and tell you. They had a 41-point fourth quarter. They outscored us 41-30 in the fourth, and that's how they were able to get the 2-point lead. We dominated every single quarter, and that was the first time that stat has betrayed us. But usually, if you look, and when you watch games, watch that third quarter. If we have the lead going into that fourth quarter, good chance we win. Very strong chance we win. Unless the team puts up 40 in the fourth. Now, on the flip side, anytime we are losing heading into that fourth quarter, we are 3-15. 3-15. Now, one of the games we had, it was a tie. So that's why if you look at it, the math is off. It's not off. One of the games we had was a tie. Okay. So that becomes disqualified. So when you add it up, it's 39 games. That's why it's not 40. Nonetheless, 3-15. So when you see us down going into the fourth quarter, game's over, folks. That has been the narrative for most of the season. There's only been 4 games where that wasn't true. For those other 36 games, that has been the truth. So when you watch games, pay attention to that quarter. Now, anytime we have the lead heading into the second quarter, we are 12-3. 12-3. Anytime we trail going into the second quarter, we are 12-12. Basically a 500 team. So first quarters when we trail could go either way. Because we were, I think we're still top 5 in second quarter points. We're really good in the second quarters, averaging around 30 a game. Usually this team, what I have noticed is we have to play from behind. And we come back. And I'm tired of it. We in the Discord server, we call it the fake comeback. Tired of the fake comebacks, y'all. Nonetheless, this is what it is. Quick reference. If we could get, let's hit the like button. If we could get the chat up to 50 people, I'm giving away 5 minutes. If the chat gets up to 50, I'm going to give away 5 memberships. So let's smash that like button. And I'm going to get some more of you guys in the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server so we can have these conversations and more. So let's get the likes up. Tell a friend, tell a friend. We in the 30s. I need this to get to the 50s. All right. And so that's how the first quarter goes. Usually when we have the lead, I know if you watch the Warriors game, we were up and we still lost. It's not an exact science, but it's probability. We probably will win the game. Most times we do. Now, second quarters is definitely, I feel, is the second most pivotal quarter, having the lead going into halftime. When we have the lead going into halftime, we are 20-4. When we don't have the lead going into halftime, okay, we are 6-10. Okay? And so let me just stat check that. Make sure there was no ties. I don't think there was no ties. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to stat check that. Just want to make sure I'm accurate. Second quarter, 6-10, 20-4. Yep. So that's how second quarters have gone. Right? You go into halftime with the lead, we usually win. And that's because third quarters have been mostly good for us. I mean, we do have moments where we have bad third quarters, but you know, a lot of the times when we have that lead, we get those W's. All right. So that's my quarter stats. To double down, I forgot to say this, to double down on how bad the first quarter has been. We hadn't had a lead going into halftime since going back to December 31st. That was the San Antonio game. That's the last time we had a lead going into halftime and going into the second quarter. Shows you why we lost those games. Shows you why we went 2-6. We're not competing at a high enough level early in games. Yeah, let's get the likes up, y'all. We got to get this chat up to 50, man. I want to give away some memberships, man, but I can't do it if the chat ain't up to 50. All right, let me get to just a couple of more slides. That revenge tour number is technically not right. I mean, this is our overall revenge tour record. Hold on, let me just stat check that. But I know we lost one game during the stretch. We only had one revenge tour game. So we played a lot of teams for the first time this stretch. So that's why it's saying that. Hold on, I just want to make sure that number is correct. And this is what I always do. I always stat check myself to make sure I'm putting up the right numbers, because when you're dealing with over 100 stats, you got to consistently stat check yourself. So that's overall, but we lost one game. And that one game, I believe, was to, I'm going to tell you right now. That was the Philadelphia game, because we played them twice. Okay? As far as DRMD, now DRMD is a very polarizing stat, because I've been finding that, like I said this earlier, you know, 5 of the 10 matchups, we've been losing the rebounding battle. So that's all DRMD is dominating the rebounding matchup differential. That's it. A phrase I coined, by the way, a stat that I track. And anytime we dominate the rebounding matchup, we are 16-7. However, when we lose it, we are 6-6. All right. It's for me, us getting out rebounded in the last 10 games 5 times. That's problematic for me, because prior to that, it was only 7 times throughout the whole rest of the year in 30 games. We're losing our edge on the glass. Now, part of it was Hart was out. So we're going to keep track of it for this next 10-game stretch. As far as three-point shooting, man, let me tell you something. Usually, when we're knocking down the three ball, we have great success. During this stretch, we still lost a lot of games, but I'm going to give you the numbers. I'm going to give you the numbers on the three-point shot. Anytime we shoot over 37.5%, we've done it. We've won 2. We won 2 games and we lost 4 games. So we did go 2-4. But usually, overall, we're 15-6. So I don't want, the reason why I'm saying this, I don't want you guys to say, oh yeah, we're losing because we're shooting the three ball. And that's not entirely correct. All right. And anytime we get under that mark, we're 10-9. Basically a 500 team. Okay. Oh, damn. Basically a 500 team. So when this team is shooting the ball, we usually win. And I'm going to give you another one. This is a freebie on me. Straight out of 82 Nights Club. Anytime we fail to reach 110 points, we are 2-7. Scoring continues to be a big deal for this team. Continues. Look at my man Melomite. He says, I'll never forget that loss to Philadelphia. Facts. These are some of the opponent stats. I think I might skip this slide. I think I'm going to skip that slide. But salute to the chat. I got 2 more slides. Before I get to this slide, let me see. My man Melomite says, I'll never forget that Philadelphia game. The last one, Fast and Furious, was on the court. Maxey, oh my God, Edgecombe looking like D Wade. They got Fast and Furious, and they got my man Edgecombe looking like D Wade out there. Right? Pretty scary. And we lost that game. That was the beginning of the turmoil. Yep, facts. 100%. That was a bad loss. Not that it was technically not a bad loss, but yeah. My man Melomite asks, hey, Karan, what's your opinion? Or should I say the percentage at three-pointers? Do we need to be successful? The percentage is what I just said that. Let me go back. This 37.5% mark. This is the mark. This is what last year's teams averaged from 3. That was the average last year, 37.5%. So that's the mark I'm looking at. For opponent three-point percentage, I'm looking at 36.2. Okay? That's the number I'm looking at. I can't remember why. It's either it was our opponent average last year or it's just the average opponent three-point shooting percentage. But 37.5%, that's the number I'm looking at. And it tells me if we own one. If we're shooting like well below that, time to attack the paint, which the Knicks normally do. The Knicks do attack the paint. Maybe not, we're not a top paint scoring team, but we do attack the paint when we don't shoot the three ball. Usually, especially when we win. All right, before I get to the last, I'm gonna check out these. So before I get back to the content, I do want to let you guys know I created a new Linktree page, linktree.com/theobjectivefan. All you gotta do is go there, check it out. I got all types of stuff on there. You can send me a super chat. You can buy 82 Nights Journal, everything that I'm pushing, my Substack link, my YouTube link, my TikTok. If you want to connect with me more, want to get my email address, everything I'm pushing is directly on linktree.com/theobjectivefan. Definitely go check it out. Scan the barcode, link in the description, links everywhere, and you will be able to access more of me. Now I'll let you get back to the content. But before I do, don't forget to subscribe. Like the channel, like the video, so more people can check out the video. But also, if you are a subscriber, consider. Oh, yeah, I hit the message. Basically, hopefully you got the gist of that. I ended it a little early, but go to Linktree. You can check out the journal. You can get the merch. This is the Bodega Cat mug. It's fire. You could go get this right now off the Linktree. All you gotta do is scroll down to where it says merch. You can send, that's where you can send the link trees. The Cash App information is there. All the information, everything I have is on Linktree. My email address, everything. You want to contact me, everything is on Linktree, all right? Let me get to these final couple of slides and we get up out of here. All right? Bam. Let me get out of there. So this is the player grades, okay? So the grades for this period of time, this is how I done it. I could give you also a brief synopsis of why I graded these players this way. I keep track of this all year. It's just something that I do. And I don't look at one game. I don't care if Mikal Bridges has one bad game. I look at the stretch of 10 games and I compare it to the previous stretch. And that tells me how well he's playing. So that's how I did these grades. So I gave Jalen Brunson the B-. And the reason why I gave my man Brunson the B- is because, the one, he's the captain. This is the worst stretch of the season for this team. Okay, he's a -3.5 himself. Granted, yes, I know that's less than what the team plus minus is overall. I don't care. You are the captain. Okay, he only averaged 25.4 points during this stretch of 10 games 31 through 40. He did shoot 49% from the field. I take that. He did shoot 40% from three. I take that. That's why I kept him in the B's, because his shooting was still good, even though he averaged less points and only 5.2 assists. I want him to get at least 6. And he only got 0.4 steals, right? Not enough from Cap, if you ask me. That's why I'm hard on Cap. Some of you guys might say, well, damn, those numbers, or at least a B+. No, B- for captain. Josh Hart gets the incomplete. He missed 8 games. Landry Shamet also gets the incomplete. He didn't even play during this stretch. Mikal Bridges gets a B-. The reason why I give Mikal Bridges a B- is because he averaged 13.6 points on 42% shooting from the field on 31% shooting from three. Realistically, I should give him a C+. Right? He's a -1. Like I said, when you compare that to the overall plus minus, it's 3 points higher. So he's not a detriment to the team. But at the same time, he hasn't really done much to help us be a better team. And I realistically have a problem with that. You know, I'm looking for more from our best players. And, you know, these guys are not delivering, man. They're definitely not delivering. Deuce McBride played 9 games. He averaged 14.9 points, 43% from the field, 41% from three. Okay, 1 free throw a game, shot 100% from the free throw line. Salute to Deuce McBride for that. Okay, 2.8 assists, a steal, and he was a .03. Salute to Deuce McBride. He, to me, is the Knick of this stretch. And that's why I gave him an A-. 29 minutes, 15 points, great three-point shooting, defense, guarding 94 feet, hitting your free throws, even though it was only once a game, right? More free throws than Mikal Bridges in less minutes. I felt like Deuce McBride was a huge plus for this team during this stretch. Mitchell Robinson, the blockness monster, the best offensive rebounder in basketball. I gave him a B-. And the reason why I gave him a B- is because I feel as though I need more on the offensive end. If he would have gave me, like, he averaged 5, 22, 5. If he would have gave me 8, I might have made him a B+ or an A-. Because everything else he did was pretty solid. 22 minutes, right? 65% from the field. I take that. Even though it's only on 3 shots. His free throws is terrible, 40%. That'll always give him a demerit to me. 5 offensive rebounds a game during this stretch, y'all. 5 offensive rebounds a game. This guy is a master on the offensive glass. Okay, 4.7 defensive rebounds. Just under 10, but 9.9. I give him 10. 10 rebounds, a steal, a block, and he was a 1.6. So I gave him a B minus. He probably realistically is a B. Now that I look at this, maybe I might have graded Mitch too hard because I forgot he was a plus 1.6. I'm not sure if I considered that. I give Mitch Robinson a B. Yeah, he's a B. Definitely a B. OG Anunoby, a B minus. You're incomplete, my good friend. He played 10 games, 34 minutes, 16 points. Okay. So yeah, he's the third option. But 43% from the field, 28% from three in 10 games. Okay, he did get to the free throw line 6 times. So maybe for that, 5.6 times, I could bump him up a grade. I mean, I might give him a B. I think I give OG a B. He got to the free throw line 5.6 times a game, and he shot 83% from the line. 6.5 rebounds. Yeah, I'm changing this grade. He's a B. OG Anunoby is a B. Yeah. OG Anunoby's a B. He just didn't shoot well. Everything else looks pretty solid. 1.6 steals, 0.7 blocks. Not well. You know what? Okay, I remember. He's a minus 5.6. So that means he's less than what the team plus minus is, and he's supposed to be the plus minus god. He's either a B or a B minus, OG. I'm gonna keep it real. He's a B or B minus. I'm leaning towards a B because of the rebounding and the free throws, but the minus 5.6, less than what the team average is, that kind of hurts. It brings you down a notch. Karl Anthony Towns, big bodega himself. Go get your bodega cat mug right now. Exclusively in the shop. Linktree / The Objective Fan. Order yours now. I gave him a C+. Very disappointing to me. 9 games, 30 minutes, 18.3 points. He went 5.4 makes, 12.2 shots. He only took 12.2 shots. OG Anunoby is right behind them. OG Anunoby took 11.7 shots. Deuce McBride is right behind them. He took 11.9 shots. This is supposed to be your second option. Okay, he shot 34% from 3 on 4 attempts. Less attempts, less of a percentage. Bad. Now, he did get to the line 7 times from the free throw line, okay, which led the team, because Brunson only got to the line 3.7 times, which is another reason why I brought Brunson down to a B minus. Rebounds, 9.7 rebounds, solid, but under his average. 3.1 assists, that's cute. 2.8 turnovers, that's nasty work. So basically, you're getting assists for a turnover. 1 steal, I take that. 0.6 blocks, get your block weight up. He was a minus 5.3, less than the team average. So, and once again, if you don't know what the team average is, I said it earlier, but it's a minus 4.3. So if your plus minus is less than what the team average is, that means you're a detriment. That means you've been more of a liability than what you normally are. So that's why I gave him a C+. Jordan Clarkson, same thing, C+. Jordan Clarkson, 8 points per game, 18.8 minutes. He shot 41% from the field, 33% from 3. Didn't go to the free throw line much. And that's it. And he's a minus 3.5. C+ numbers to me. If he has to get over double digits for him to be a baseline B minus. But if he gets less than double digits, I don't care. Gershon Yabusele is really an F, but I gave him a D because I'm a nice guy. Gershon Yabusele, I'm not even going through his stats. Just know it's bad. Tyler Kolek, I gave him a B minus. Could have been a B, but he kind of slid a little bit. I like his plus minus. He does have a +2. He's one of the highest plus minus on the team during this stretch. 5 points in 16 minutes. He's shooting 33% from the field, which is terrible. His shooting is terrible. 30% from 3, terrible. Okay, during this stretch. He's averaging 3 assists and just 1 turnover. C+ to me. I mean, B minus to me. B minus to me. Not a B. But that's my grades. Okay, that's my player grades. Mellow Mike said, take care of those ankles. AP asked, Karan, is Mike Brown or Leon in trouble? What do you think? I don't think neither one of them is in trouble. It's his first year. He has the grand excuse, this is my first year. I need more time. I don't think his head will roll. But them players, I can see some of them getting up out of here. If we don't continue to persevere into the finals, I think changes are coming. Regular season, it is what it is. Playoffs, you got to deliver, man. So because it's regular season, I can't say that. I can't say I feel like, there's trouble in paradise yet. Could that change? Yes. I don't got the storyline slide on this, but I'll just read them out. So during this stretch of 10 games, Mo Diawara, he balled out. He had a career high. I get out of the PowerPoint. So Mo Diawara had a career high. I think it was 18 points. Then the Knicks go on their first losing streak since October. And I believe it was 4 games in a row. Yeah, 4 games in a row during this stretch. And it's the worst, honestly, it's the worst losing streak since 2023. And the Knicks have players only discussion, not a meeting. Knicks can't get a win on the road against an above 500 team. They're 1-10 overall, and they lost 6 during this stretch, or 4 during this stretch, rather. Josh Hart returns to the lineup and has a good 2 games. Mike Brown calls out Towns for his lack of effort on play. And Brunson goes down with an ankle injury. Those are the top storylines during this 10-game stretch. You got to get yourself 82 nights because basically this show is a section in this journal. And I just gave you one for the Knicks. That's all I got for you guys tonight, man. Before we get up out of here, I'm going to look into the chat. It's been mentioned more of the sprain. Oh, if he gets hurt again. Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. Mellow Mike with the ankles. Jalen Brunson's ankles. He got hurt twice last year. He tweaked it twice last year. So it's not the first time we've seen him tweak the ankle twice. They're gonna be careful. So I mean, if Brunson doesn't play against Phoenix the next game, we still got to get the win. I don't give a damn whether he plays or not. You got to get this win. But if they want to rest him a week, they could. But it's not a serious sprain. It's not I know it's a concern, but I think they'll let it get time to heal. Mike says, to me, Mike Brown more than Leon. Nah, I disagree. I would say it's the opposite. I think that I don't know how much coaches Dolan's going to give Leon. I don't know. I don't know how many coaches you going to get, my brother. Because once you start firing coaches and so many coaches in a short period of time, that usually means there's trouble in paradise. But let me see if there's any super chats or anything I missed. Just want to make sure, because last time I got off the air, somebody sent me a super chat. But that's all we got. I will be back tomorrow, NBA Saturday. I got to work on a thumbnail. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to look into some topics for tomorrow morning. Be on the lookout for that. NBA Saturdays will be here. Of course, we got the game tomorrow against Phoenix. We will be back for a post-game call-up show. I want to do a show Sunday morning. I don't know. I'll let you know tomorrow. And the podcast returns on Monday. So some things to look forward to. That's all I got for you guys. Hopefully you guys got informed, and we did answer the question. This Knicks team It's not as good as they're not as good as we thought they are. And that's okay. They can bounce back. It's not over. It's only 40 games. I'm just giving you the stats of where they are now. Things can change. We won 8 games the last 10 game stretch. We could easily win 8 games this stretch. I would not be surprised if we won 8 games this stretch. I'm keeping it real. We got a couple of soft teams. We got at least 4 or 5 soft touches. A couple of revenge games. Before you know it, you win 7 games, 6 games, 8 games, and now you're happy again. But that's all I got for you on this show. And until next time, as always, let's go Knicks.